Let's talk about setting up Google Authorship. My name is Bob Stewart. I introduced myself a little bit at the beginning. I'm the community evangelist here at ActiveRain. You can find me on Twitter or Facebook at ActiveBob, so facebook.com/ActiveBob. Twitter, you're just going to throw that little hash or that little @ sign in front of my name. If you want to talk about ActiveRain, we're pound ActiveRain or at ActiveRain. Either way, we'll find you. So you want to say something nice, or you want to make fun of me, or whatever the heck you want to do, that's where you can find me at. So why do we want to have Google Authorship, and maybe what is Google Authorship? So how many months ago? Not too long ago, okay, 6 or 8 months ago, Google put out this concept of authorship, and when they did it, they don't, Google's, they kind of do whatever they want, and they're not beholden to anybody. And so when they put out a new product or a new kind of wrinkle in their mix of products, everybody and their mom jumps back and goes, okay, what is this going to mean? Why do we need to take advantage of this right now? If it has anything to do with the search results, yeah, we're going to jump on board, and then we're going to theorize, what this is going to look like 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. And so what we know of Google Authorship right now is we need to get it set up. But basically what Google is doing is they are attempting to identify across the web who are the creators of content, right? So if you are somebody out there creating content, your blog, right? You're adding pages to your website, but it's unique content that you are creating. Google wants to know who you are and what kind of content you're creating. So we need to show them. We'll talk a little bit as we go through here about why we need to show them. The first reason why is because they're creating this increased level of trust in your content, and this is kind of twofold. Okay, on one side we have Google trusting our content more, but on the other side, and not any more or less important, I would say equally important, is we have consumers who may get in the habit of trusting our content more, and that's demonstrated by the fact of what Google is now doing in their results. And you can see here's one little result out of here where Google has placed the image. And when we go to this next kind of fuller look at this page, so this is a search for condos for sale, the Village at Black Rock, right? This is a very, if you've been in a bunch of my classes before, any of my classes before, we talk about, especially in our SEO class, about creating content at kind of this hyper local level, right? Somebody that was looking for a condo for sale at the Village at Black Rock. This search was done on ActiveRain, or led somebody to ActiveRain last month, I believe 8 times. So 8 people searched this exact phrase, and there was a bunch of other ways that people found their way to Gail Robinson's post here. But look at this result, and what you see, and what you would expect to see for a lot of results across the country that have condos for sale in the query somewhere, is going to be condo.com, right? They show up at the top. They're the top 2 results. But you'll notice in that 4th result is going to be Gail's result and her image. And so that little change in the search results, and Google does not change their search results very often. Okay? In fact, it's very rare that they change something that we see in the actual results. The way those results are displaying with the blue clickable link, the green for the URL that we're going to land on, and then the black, which is the page description, that has been their method for serving up results for us for probably as long as any of us can remember, because a lot of us are using Google so often that we see these results day after day after day after day, and these just become the normal results that we expect. When they make changes like this, they don't do these things very lightly. And so the fact that they're now adding our images in, or giving us a chance to have our images or an image of ourselves added with our results, speaks volumes. And like I said, when Google makes changes, the SEO experts all get together and they all theorize on what these things will mean moving forward. Right now, it means that you are getting higher click-through rates in lower positions. So it's traditionally always been, the first position is going to get the mountain share of the click results, and as you move down, you're going to get less and less and less to the, you're getting less than 1% of the clicks are happening at the bottom of the first page. Having your face in there now is starting to skew these images. Now it's not, or starting to skew these results. It's not skewing them massively to where like the image in the fourth position is getting more clicks than the first position, but it's getting more clicks than the fourth position used to get without the image. So that's them trusting, or them allowing the consumer to become, more familiar with who we are and trust us a little bit more as authors of good content. A second thing that Google Authorship is doing, and not a lot of people are familiar with this yet, but as Google kind of rounds out this suite, or this offering, this Google Authorship offering, what happens is on this result back here, when we come down, if we were to click on Gail's picture, now we could click on the result and that would take us to the page like it's always taken us to. But if we click on Gail's picture, what's going to happen is we are going to now get a collection of different content that Gail has written about the query. Okay, so in this example, we're just getting one, and this is the main search result. We're getting one article from Gail. If we were to click on Gail's image, we will actually get any content related to that query that the author has written. So in this case, Gail, that wasn't her only post about the village at BlackRock. In fact, we can see where she's done some market reports about that. She wrote another post earlier this year that was about the condominium complex, and she kind of varied her keywords a little bit maybe for that one. But what Google's done is they've gone back and said, okay, let me see this author, and then let me see everything that this author has written on this subject. And this may actually include, and if you were to go do this result and look at Gail, it will actually include content that's not just on ActiveRain, because if she went out and put author credentials on her own website, let's say she had a WordPress site, she's got them on her outside blog, it's going to pull in any kind of content in here that they identify as being, from Gail about this particular query. So they're starting to create kind of this central hub that gives somebody a chance to find all of the content we've written about a particular subject matter. Now this one is something that we will expect to see more of as this moves forward, okay, as Google Authorship and this concept, and Google kind of discovers how they want to use this thing. But when you're in this result right here, if you were to click on BlackRock Connecticut condos for sale, the village at BlackRock, the actual result here, and you were to go in as the searcher and consume that piece of content, okay, what will happen after a certain amount of time, if you hit the back button, okay, so you did the query, you clicked her result, you went in, you read it, you consumed it for a certain amount of time, and right now it's somewhere between 2 minutes and 5 minutes, and that seems kind of crazy online because most content can be pretty easily consumed in 2 minutes and definitely in 5 minutes. But again, Google's kind of playing with this. But what will happen is if somebody hits the back button, this additional set of results for the author will show up below the original query, or below the original result. Okay, so right here we see 3 more kind of results after we had hit the back button. So we went in, Google said, okay, they must have liked this. They stayed there for 2 minutes, right? They hit the back button, and now we're introduced with this additional set of results. And you'll notice in those results, the first one is another ActiveRain set, and it's her tags page for BlackRock. But the second and third results are actually BlackRock Homes for Sale.com. And if you were to go to that website, that is Gail, that is a WordPress blog that Gail has set up. The funny thing about this is she doesn't actually have Google Authorship set up on BlackRockHomesForSale.com. Google just has gone out and identified her as being the author or the contributor to that page. Now, in kind of getting ready for this class and looking through a lot of this stuff, there are a ton of instances of this where Google will identify something else. If you have links on your website that point to other people, right? They've written about similar things, they may actually pull their queries in. So it becomes ultra important for you to think about getting Google Authorship set up across each of the different sites that you use. Okay, so let's go in and actually set up Google Authorship, and I'm going to do this. We're going to do it for different two different ways. Okay, we're going to do it for ActiveRain and your ActiveRain blog, and then we're going to do it for your outside blog, and then I'm going to, in doing that, we're going to kind of get the concept for how you would do it on your website. But again, as we leave here today, I will give you a fantastic tutorial for you to be able to go in and set up Google Authorship on your own website. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to come over here and we want to go to our Google Plus profile. And in order to do that, and you guys are probably going to see a bunch of my chats pop up down here. They will at some point. Okay, so I'm in my Google Plus. If you don't have a Google Plus account set up, you need to get one of those set up first. And if you have a YouTube account or a Gmail or any of those things, you actually have Google Plus. You maybe just don't know about it yet. But get in and get Google Plus set up. I'm not going to show you how to do that. Mine's already set up. I'd have to create a whole new account to go through that process. But if you haven't done it yet, just Google set up Google Plus, and they'll real easy. You'll get that figured out. So what we need to do in order to get Google Authorship set up on ActiveRain is we need to get the link to our Google profile. So when we over here on the left-hand side, we have navigation. We're just going to click profile. Okay, this URL right up here at the top right now, that is everything up to the /post. That is going to be the link that we want to get saved. Okay, so we'll take this link right here. We're going to copy it. Then I'm going to come back to ActiveRain. And I don't need to be logged in as Jeffrey anymore. So I'm going to come in here, and as me, I'm going to come into my home page. And from my home page, I need to edit my profile. I'm going through this slow enough that if you want to do this along with me, I would encourage you to do that. That way, if something doesn't work or you get messed up, at the end, you can come back and ask a question, and I can troubleshoot it maybe for you. Okay, so I'm in here, my profile. I'm going to come in here to this little portion right here underneath my picture. I'm going to hit edit. So I get in here and I edit this thing. I'm going to come down here, and we have this little box right here that allows you to take your Google Plus profile and paste it in there. So I'm going to paste that thing, right? I copied it from my Google Plus profile up here. I grabbed everything up to posts. So all those numbers and the plus.google.com / and the HTTPS, all that, bring it over here and I'll paste it in this Google profile link. Then I'm going to hit save profile. Okay. I save my profile. Now when I come over and I look at my profile, what's going to happen is there's going to be a link to my Google Plus. This is if you are a part of any kind of a multi-author website. So maybe you write for, you got a group of people and you guys have created like a multi-author blog or something. You need to have this link to Google Plus on your profile page. Okay, so the about page or whatever, your author page on a multi-author blog needs to have this link to Google Plus. Now, once I have this in here on ActiveRain, the next step is pretty simple. Okay, all I need to do is go over to my Google Plus. I'm in my profile here. I'm going to come in and edit my profile. And when I edit my profile, it's going to give me a chance to either edit my posts, my about, my photos, my videos. I need to be in the about section. Okay, so I've edited my profile. I get into the about section. Then I'm going to come down here to the very bottom of this about section, and there's going to be a contributor to section. Right now, you cannot do this for a Google Plus business profile. Okay, you can only do this for a personal profile on Google Plus. One of the reasons is Google's trying to connect our content back to a person. Okay, so they haven't opened up the ability for us to do this with a business profile yet. But when we're in our personal profile on Google Plus and we edit it, at the bottom of the about section is going to be this contributor to portion of the page. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click on that. Now, let's say this wasn't in here. Okay, let's say that my ActiveRain blog, which it is not in there. We could even say that other one's not in here. So it's going to look like this. I'm just going to hit add a custom link. I'm going to label that. And when I label it, I want it to be probably something that kind of identifies with what the search engine would expect to find in my content as a whole. So that's probably something like your pie in the sky sort of content that you're writing about, right? Maybe like Seattle real estate, news and information. Then I'm just going to take the, the link for my profile. So in this case, it's going to be activerain.com/ARBob. Yours is going to be activerain.com/ whatever it is that your username is. Okay, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to paste that in there. I'm going to hit save. And now I've got this link as me as a contributor to this particular page on ActiveRain, right? My profile page. So we've got it set up on our profile. Here's how we're going to test it, all right? Carrie is right now is going to send you guys the link to this page, activerain.com/Google-authorship. This page is a step-by-step of what I just took you through right there. Okay, so go to your Google profile, get the URL, right? I show you clearly how to do that step by step. Okay, go add the link to our, add the link, right? Come back, edit our profile, go down to the contributors section, add the link to your profile in there. Once you've done that, and those are just a couple of easy steps, there's a little link in here for you to run over and test if this is actually working. And so when I click that link to test if this thing is working, what I want to do is come in here and grab the URL of my profile and just ask Google, does this thing set up right? And go ahead and hit preview. And what we'll see is that the author down here has been verified. So Google has linked any content that comes out of my blog is going to link back to that Google profile or my author profile on Google. Okay, and I can expect in the future my results to show up. Now here's the thing, if you do this today and then you go in and start looking for your content online to see if your picture shows up, Google hasn't actually told us when they show this stuff, why they show it. They're showing it sometimes, and like we saw with Gail on some of the examples I had in the slides, it is working. Okay, but they're not showing it for everything yet, and they're kind of keeping that one close to the vest on why that is, but that's just the way it is. They're not showing it for everyone just yet. Over time, and you know, if we were to look at Gail's blog, she has a lot of really great content in there. It's unique content, and so she's she's continuing to add content on a at least a weekly basis, if not a couple of times a week. And so what happens is, since she's set that up, she's continued to demonstrate to Google that, hey, look, I'm somebody that's that's an author and creating good content here for you. And so we're now starting to see her image showing up in the search results. So that's how we get it set up for your ActiveRain content. Now, if we want to get it set up for your outside blog, and I would encourage you again, because I mentioned earlier that they're starting now to give results, when people hit the back button based on other content we've written. We've got that ability to kind of go to one place by clicking on the image and seeing, a complete profile of all of the content we've written about a certain query. We want to make sure we have it set up across our other suite of sites too. So your outside blog, if you're a Rainmaker on ActiveRain, you have one of these. Carrie's going to send you out this Google Authorship outside blog post that Jeff wrote here from ActiveRain. This is going to walk you through how you set up Google Authorship on your outside blog. The most important piece in here, and I'm going to do this right now, is this little section of code right here that Jeff has given us. So I'm going to copy that piece of code. I'm going to come back here to I can click my name up here, and I need to get into my blog settings. So I'm going to click blog settings. What we want to make happen is we need that piece of code to show up on all of the pages on our outside blog. And the best way to do that is to come in here to your signature line and to add that link to your signature line. Now, I already have that, so I'm actually going to get rid of it. Actually, it's probably going to be here in the HTML. I'm going to come in here and edit my HTML source. Now, remember, I saved that piece of code from before on Jeff's post. So I'm going to come down here at the bottom, and I'm going to paste that piece of code in. Now, there's some stuff that I need to do here, okay, because this is kind of blank right now. And so depending on what I want it to say, right, I'll put that in here. So he has it right now saying add Bob Stewart in your circle. I might even say like add me in your Google Plus circle. All right, so that's going to be the title of the link. Then I need it to link to, see all this in here? That needs to link to my Google Plus profile. So let me jump back and grab that link again. And again, it's just going to be this portion right here. One of the common things that I see people do is they'll grab some of the other words that are up in here. Or sometimes you'll get like an extra little like dash, or like a number sign in here, something like that. You want to get rid of that. It needs to go googleplus.com/ right up here to the numbers. And we're just going to grab all that stuff to the numbers. Okay. Jump back to this. Let me pull that back up. So right in here is where we're going to paste that link. Boom, there's my link. Okay, and then this is just going to be kind of some additional kind of information that we give the search engine. So we might want to do something in here instead of like find Bob on Google Plus. We might want to make this something like Seattle real estate news and events. Right? That's what we used when we entered in our last kind of set of contributor to information. So I'm going to hit update. Oop. And here I am down here, and so now I can kind of come back here and I could center this up, make it look like I want it to. Hit update. So now what we'll see is when I come to my outside blog here, so I got a whole ton of outside blogs. We're actually demoing this one right here. We come to my outside blog, we're going to see now in the signature line for each of my posts, it's added that link to my Google Plus profile, which has kind of created the circle that we need, but it only creates it if we come back here and we say that we're a contributor to, add a custom link. We're going to call this one, Seattle news and events. And then I'm going to link it to my outside blog, which is kellenstewart.com. Come back here and save that. So now we've got, we're a contributor in 2 places. Now we can be a contributor in 10 places, right? You got a couple of little niche WordPress blogs, you can get those set up, but each time we add that piece of code out to our website, we're going to come back and add us as a contributor to that section from our profile here. And then again, we always come back to this webmasters tool. And then we can check and see, did we get this thing set up? And we're always looking for that green verified markup there, letting us know we got the code in all of the right places. All right, so let's see what kind of questions you guys might have about this stuff here. Okay. Laura says, let's see, somebody says, I'm executing the same search and do not see Gail's results showing up. So let's do it here. And here's one thing I would say to you. Whenever you're doing a search to try to see what someone else is seeing, and even to try to see how your own results are coming up, I would say that you want to make sure that you have a clean browser. And here's what I mean by that, because if you're logged into Google Plus on your browser, so like, when I was using Firefox, I'm logged in to my Google account. They're tracking my history. I never clear my cache. They know what pages I've been to in the past. So one of the things that you want to make sure is always do searches where you're looking to see what someone else would see based on a clean browser. And I use Safari for my clean browser. And what I'll do with Safari is whenever I'm going to like go out and try to see what I think the results should be to other people, I will completely wipe my browser out. So I'm going to hit reset. I completely reset my Safari browser. And in some cases, I'll even go into private browsing mode because I don't want the search engines, I don't want to send information out to the sites that I'm visiting to give them a profile or a history of what I've been doing. That could manipulate my results. So what was that search? Condos for sale, village at BlackRock. Condos for sale, village at BlackRock. So there's her result in there. If you're not getting those, that's okay. Right? Um, like I said, we don't always know when Google's going to decide to show these pieces of content. Sometimes they'll show them to us, sometimes they won't. It could be that, you're hitting a different bank of their servers than I'm hitting, and on my bank, they've been set up to display this thing, and on your bank, they're just not there yet. Lee asks, why enter the Google Plus URL in both your profile and your signature block? You don't have to enter it in both places, but if you don't enter it in the signature block is to get it working on your outside blog. Okay? Adding it to your profile will get it working on your internal ActiveRain content. So for instance, this result is coming out of her ActiveRain content. Okay? Adding it to the signature line makes it so that on our outside blog, we've got all of those different posts that we've sent out there have right down here, because our profile on ActiveRain is not tied directly into our outside blog. Right? So on our outside blog now, by adding to the signature line, I get that piece of code on each page on my outside blog. Francine says, if I have the same content on my AR blog and my outside blog, should I Google Authorship both websites? Yes. Here's another thing about Google Authorship, okay? They're going to see, because there's all this debate about duplicate content, right? And people say, well, should I have my content in more than one place? And Google kind of says, we'd rather you not have your content everywhere, but if you're going to have it there, let us know that you created it. So we kind of do I'll show you here on ActiveRain. We share with them where you've posted this thing if you post it to your outside blog. So like on this particular post down here at the bottom, it's going to let them know that this thing, no, maybe not. Well, when you guys post to your outside blog, it's going to let them know at the bottom, it's going to say originally posted at, and it's going to link out to your outside blog. Okay? By letting them know you're the original author, here's one of the big things that this is going to do. If you've been blogging for long enough, you will see people will steal your content. There's websites set up that will scrape stuff off of ActiveRain, and every now and then we have to go out and like do cease and desist letters to have them stop scraping content from our site. But those things are out there everywhere. One of the reasons they're moving towards this Google Authorship is they want to identify just the real people out there that are creating content. And so what this will do is if you get the authorship set up on your content, it will start to eliminate some of those other people out there that are creating content or that are scraping content from your websites. Because if they're looking at a set of results and one of them has the Google authorship and the other two that have stolen your content do not, Google is going to move towards displaying your original piece of content. Ooh. So it says a bunch of you guys have business, a bunch of people have asked questions about having a business page and wanting to change that to a personal page. Here's what I would say. You should have a personal page I believe business pages are set up off of the personal page. Um, let's go back here because I have a business page. How would I change that? That's a good question. I might have to follow up with an answer to that. Somebody who's asking that, post that on my Facebook page, facebook.com/ActiveRain. You can jump back and forth between your personal and your business. I'm just not 100% sure how to do it right here. So I'm a manager of this page, so I could switch to this page. Let's see if I switch to this page. Now, how do I get back and actually view or get back to my original? Uh, it's telling me I'm viewing it. What if I don't want to? So you guys maybe have just stuck in here on, oh, here we go. So if I click on pages right here, looks like it might show me. So manage my pages. No, I don't want to switch to that page. When I come back to my profile, am I going to be back? I'm back. So do you see that? So once I switched to ActiveRain, it gave me a chance here to switch back to my original profile. So you need to go over and find your business profile, your business page, right? It's gonna somewhere up here. It's gonna ask me. Oh, here it is. See that little page button? I can switch between managing my page. There's a couple of little hiccups in here, right? But you saw once I got to be managing my business page, it had a chance for me over here. Here we go. Do I want to switch to this page? If I did that, all right, it's going to give me a chance over here on the left to switch back to my personal page. And it should be again that you have a personal page there. If you've been using Google Plus as your business page, you can come back here. That just switched me back to managing it on my personal side. Maybe. There we go.